Go.
Tonight on Historical News. Historical, excuse me. The Spanish-American War.
And its battles.
But first, let's look into how the war started.
In February 1895, Cubans, led by Jose Martini, rebelled against the Spanish rule.
You were absolutely right, Colton. And the following September, Cubans declared independence.
I bet that sure angered those Spaniards, Julian.
It sure did, Colton. On top of that, Cubans almost had no support from the U.S., since President Cleveland declared neutrality in June of 1895.
That's not all, Julian. In February 1896, Spain sent nearly 200,000 troops to Cuba.
200,000?
That's right, Julian. Things looked pretty grim for Cuba.
Agreed, Colton.
On January 1st, the Spanish tried to make a compromise with Cuba.
Yes, they did, Colton. They removed the Spanish governor there and said that Cuba could govern itself as long as it remained part of the Spanish Empire.
How did the Cubans take that, Julian?
Not so well, Colton.
Why is that, Julian?
Well, the Cuban rebels wanted complete independence, while Spanish loyalists were mad at Spain for giving in, so no one was happy.
That's right, Julian. The Loyalists started riots in Havana. President McKinley sent the USS Maine to go evacuate Americans if necessary.
How did they go?
Not so well, Julian. On February 15, 1898, the Maine exploded off the coast of Havana.
It was probably an engine failure, but back then, everyone thought it was a mine from Spain. After that, President McKinley asked Congress to authorize the use of force against Spain. Congress approved and told Spain to back off. Spain then declared war against the U.S.
The battles of the Spanish-American War were quick and decisive. The war itself only lasted about 3.5 months. Let's go over some of those battles. Take it away, Stuart.
The first battle occurred on May 1st, 1898. This was the Sea Battle of Manila Bay. In it, the entire Spanish fleet that was in the Philippines was annihilated. The American commander in this battle was Commodore Admiral George Dewey, and the Spanish commander was Admiral Patricio Montajo y Pizarro. It only lasted a few hours. Dewey was told to go and defeat the ships that were in the Philippines so they couldn't come west and attack the U.S.
In a surprising surprise attack that took the Spanish by surprise, 4 U.S. ships destroyed the 8 Spanish ones. The battle was over in a couple hours.
The next item we are going to discuss is a Puerto Rican campaign. It was an American sea and land operation on the island of Puerto Rico. The attack began on May 12, 1898, as the U.S. Navy attacked San Juan. Next came the Battle of San Juan Hill. This battle was part of the Puerto Rican campaign. The Army's intent was to march to Santiago and launch a land and sea assault on the Spanish stronghold. Among these troops were the Rough Riders. The troops fought its way to Santiago's outer defenses, where they decided to take the city of El Caney and San Juan Hill. While some troops stayed to secure El Caney, 8,000 of them went ahead to take San Juan Hill. The Spanish killed hundreds of troops before they reached the base of the heights. There the Rough Riders led the charge up Kettle Hill before taking San Juan. The siege on Santiago started the next day.
Thanks, Stuart. Let's talk about the Battle of Santiago. The admirals involved were Admiral Sampson of the U.S. and Admiral Sverre of Spain. Sir Arabian fleet were hiding out in the harbor of Santiago when he heard that Admiral Sampson was coming for him. He tried to make a break for it, but Sampson intercepted him and blew his fleet out of the water. Spain surrendered Cuba on July 17th. After all this was done, Spain and the U.S. signed the Treaty of Paris, not the one in the 1700s, mind you. It was signed on December 10th, 1898, and came into effect on April 11th, 1899. It made peace between Spain and the U.S. Out of it, the U.S. got Puerto Rico, the Philippines, and Guam, and Cuba was made independent.